As you know, there's a lot of talk about 2016, and that happens immediately after 2012. Happened during the 2012 race, in fact. So here from the book is a conversation about Governor Christie. You considered him to be your running mate, and ultimately you rejected him. And some of the reporting out of the book indicates that there was some concerns about his background and your own investigations and your own vetting process. Here's what they report in the book. The dossier on the Garden State governor's background was littered with potential landmines. There was no point in thinking about Christie further. With the clock running out, Romney pulled the plug again, this time for good. Questions about past investigations, about lawsuits, and about his health, indeed his weight. Did you look at those issues as disqualifying, and if so, why?
Well, I know that the vetting people who went through that analysis and put together their report laid everything out, but frankly, there was nothing they found that wasn't already part of the public record and that hadn't already been dealt with effectively by Chris Christie. So there was nothing new there. The reason I chose Paul Ryan was, as I indicated before, which is Paul had a complement of skills and experience that I thought would be helpful if he actually became vice president. I'd been a governor. I hadn't worked in Washington. He'd been in Washington. He was a budget pro, and I figured his relationships in Washington, his knowledge of the budget, would be a good compliment to me. And Chris, by the way, Chris could easily become our nominee and save our party and help get this nation on the right track again. They don't come better than Chris Christie.
But you obviously had concerns about his health, his weight, and other issues. If he does seek the nomination, do you think these are going to become issues? You yourself is reportedly saying in the book, a governor's race is not an appropriate vetting process. These issues will come to the fore again. Is there something that he should be concerned about?
Well, you know, I know that in a campaign, people drudge up all the old stuff again, but he's already dealt with it. And with regards to his health, he provided his health records to us. His health is very solid, very good. There's not an issue there. Look, I know that the Democrats will try and go after him if he's our nominee in every way they can, but you can't argue with the kind of success he's had. He's been a governor. He's about to win, I think, on Tuesday pretty solidly. And his record as governor really stands out. I mean, New Jersey, after all, is a very blue state. He's a very popular governor in a very blue state. That's the kind of popularity and the kind of track record the Republican Party needs if we're going to take back the White House.
And it's interesting, you have told Republicans since losing in 2012 that electability is still the key. That even though other Republicans may have liked some of your challengers, that you were the guy who was best positioned to beat Mitt Romney. To beat President Obama. Do you think that Governor Christie is the odds-on favorite to be the nominee in 2016 because he's the most electable?
Well, I think it's kind of early to say who's the most electable and who would be the most effective candidate. But at this stage, you look at Chris Christie and say that's a very impressive guy with a great track record, with the demonstrated ability to work across the aisle, with support of labor and blue-collar voters in New Jersey. It's a pretty compelling story. And there's some other very compelling stories. Paul